We played 2 games since the cup final, and we're back today to play Falkirk in the league after beating them for the League Cup. We've also signed a player. He joins us in January. Let's just get to it. I have nothing else to say. This is Squavish Gamer. My name is Duncan. Welcome back to the Elgin Experiment. So welcome in everybody. Let's start then with the league table. And as you can see, we are currently 8th in the league. We are ahead of Kilmarnock on goal difference of, there's a difference of 10 actually, I didn't even notice that before. And we're ahead of St Mirren and Falkirk by 1 point. However, we have a game in hand on Falkirk, on Hearts, and we have 2 games in hand on Kilmarnock and St Mirren. On the other side of us, we are 4 points behind St Johnstone, but again, 2 games in hand. So we could quite nicely push up the league just a little bit. Now, the 2 games we've played since we were last here was a loss and a win. We lost 2-0, quite comfortably lost actually, to Dundee United. Excuse me. Then we beat St Mirren 1-0. Declan Feeney got the goal, although Hibernian had a goal ruled out late, very late actually, in the second half. But we have a double header now. At home, we take on Falkirk below us and St Johnstone ahead of us as we enter into January. I have 2 members of staff coming in, hopefully. We're just waiting for their work permits. But Wayne Christie is coming into the club for £165,000, I think I spent on him. I did. He is championship level, but he is better than both right backs we have. Physically, he is 6 foot tall. Not the quickest over short distances, but okay-ish over long. Good at crossing, good at tackling, but he's marking and passing's meh. For what we're looking for, I think he'll be a good option there on that wing back. Plus, if we can get better in the summer, we will absolutely get better in the summer. Only player we have made a move for, in January. Nothing else has changed. Chambers requested to go out on loan. I have promised him some more game time. But he's just coming off as a sub. We started the game technically in this formation in the last game against Hibernian, but before the game even kicked off, we moved him over, him down, him in the middle. Just to try something a little bit different. And we got the win from it, so I guess that's a bonus. But in terms of the team from the cup final, I do not believe there is any changes. Sands and goals, Moanga, Manuel and Keenan, that very comfortable back 3 that they have together, all friendly. Side Dag will play at right back with Kane and Patrick as defensive mids. Excuse me, Towler will be playing left back because McCarthy is actually tired today, so there's changes. O'Halloran was injured, but he is back training, but he's not fit enough to even come on from the bench. O'Toole, Jan and Feeney as that front 3. Fairly decent, yeah. Jan is on a bit of a goal drought again, which isn't ideal, but, you know, these things do happen. I guess what we're hoping for now is a win again over Falkirk, which would be good to see. The stadium expansion has just been finished. This is our first game at home since then. So this is us now at our increased capacity stadium. Borough has had a little bit of a increase. I don't know what stand or whatever, but yeah. We're now at a bigger capacity, which hopefully next season we can fully get the use of. I think that's the capacity up to about 5,000, 5,500 now, somewhere in that range. I think, if I remember correctly. But other than that, really, nothing's changed. I noticed that we had space for another scout and for 2 more members of the backroom staff. So, Scout has already come in. He was Scottish, so he didn't need a work permit. And looking at what we've got, we've technically, for some reason, apparently we've got the best coaching staff in the league, which I don't buy, but apparently we do. But we're looking to bring another fitness coach and a... Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. A defensive-minded coach. That's the two kind of went for. Also, there was staff whose contracts run out in the summer and things, so there may be more staff changes come the summer, but right now they're the three changes, if you like, at the moment. What I can say is I'm not happy about is we've not had a shot yet today, and they have. Which means our attack is breaking down somewhere. I'm just not fully sure where at the moment. I think I'm going to change it to the two DMs, the two number 10s is what I meant to say, as they have just took the lead against us. Annoyingly. Just see if that makes any difference. And us creating chances. Because we're 25 minutes out of the game, we haven't created anything. They've had 4 shots, 2 on target, now 1 in the back of the net. Not ideal. Right, corner. Towler to deliver. And Keenan heads that one home. It's his first goal of the season. And it puts us back on level terms. 38 minutes on the clock. Let's have a look again. Oh, Keenan just gets away from his man, outjumps everybody, and powers that one home with his head. Honestly, when he got free, he was never missing, I don't think. Shouldn't be missing from there. Oh my god, it's been so long since we've recorded where I've yawned my head off. Apologies, everybody. Right, Dag to Kane. Can we maybe sneak a second? It looks like going to 2 number 10s has helped us in terms of creating more chances, which is good. Taylor fires a ball at the back, but Jan was never really going to get much of a chance with that. So much power just fired over by Taylor there. I'm still not happy with the performance overall. Let's not beat around the bush, but definitely an increase in performance second half of the first half when we did change our shape ever so slightly. And just see that minor change of shape sometimes is all it needs. I'm just kind of looking at who's playing well and who isn't. Surprisingly, it's O'Toole, so we're just going to bring on, again, it's going to be Sam Chambers just for the sake of it at the moment. Dag's playing poorly, so I'm going to bring on Tony Gallagher again. He actually came on and did pretty well against Hibernian. We're still releasing him at the end of the season, but it's not been awful. It does mean that come January we will have 3 right backs and 3 left backs at the club, but whatever, I'm not bothered. At least 2 of them are out of contract in the summer, but with one probably going to go off the new deal. Whether he accepts or not is up to him, and in that case that player will be O'Halloran. I am just talking, hoping this is going to say offside. It's not. Bastard. We're 1-0. We're not 1-0 down. We're 1 goal down again. Right, we need to make a couple changes. Going to bring on Miller, and I'm also going to bring on Andre just to make a couple of changes in personnel. Kane is absolutely shattered, but that's kind of helpful because I'm going to bring on El Hadou and hope that that will help us create just a bit more. But who knows? Not me. Are we really not going to create anything else? Are we just having a really shit off game again? Off day even? I think the answer is going to be yes. After we beat them so comfortably in that cup final, the fact that we are just struggling today is annoying. 5 minutes added on time. Can we get the equaliser in the remaining 5.5 minutes? That's the question. Everyone is in their half. Poor ball from Keenan. Poor ball. Right, Towler plays the ball inside to Jan. He gets all the way back to Keenan. So looking for an option. Manuel. Patrick. Gets it El Hadoui. Plays it to Gallagher. He's probably going to try and get it on his left. He does. All the way back to Keenan. Patrick outside the box. And this is his first goal for the club. And what a strike it is. Could have just rescued us a point here at Borough Briggs. Told you he was going to go on the left foot. He is left-footed. Gets all the way back. Keenan, first time ball to Patrick, who just hits it first time. Gardine, maybe slightly out of position, but not really. And it's a wonder strike to get us back in the game. I'll take a draw now, please. And that is exactly what it is. 2-2 here at Borough Briggs. Went behind twice and came back with equalisers. Not a best performance overall. And it's true, we weren't good enough. We need to improve. But we still managed to keep a point, which keeps us same point difference between ourselves and Falkirk of 1. And still got those 2 games in hand above on everyone else. So if we could win our next 2 games, that are the 2 games we've got in hand, which we won't, but if we did, that may be why we're playing a double header against Celtic. They must be one of the teams. Anyway, if we do that, then we could go on equal points with St Johnstone. Excuse me, what I will say though, we're 5 points clear of Hearts. We have a game in hand. That for us right now, honestly, is pretty good. Downside, we're about to go on St Johnstone's side, who just won their last game and may actually have picked up points in the game before that as well. Join me in a second. I just did St Johnstone at home. Right, we're back for the second game. One change to starting 11. McCarthy has came back in terms of the bench. Towler comes out of the bench. O'Halloran replaces Gallagher on the bench. Instead of that, no real changes. Again, we're going to start with this. We'll see how this goes. Maybe we changed quite early to the 210s. I don't know. In terms of January then, my main objective was a right back. We've done that. We've done that already. It's not even hit January. I'll probably will try and bring in a defensive mid on loan at least, just to have a 5th option, just purely as backup in case we pick up a couple injuries again or suspensions. I will probably try and move on. I mean, ideally, I'd try and move on all 3 of Miles, Chambers, and Kelly. But at least 2 of them I want to try and move on. Honestly, maybe Hornby as well. But yeah, I'm going to try and move on some guys who are either out of contract or just not being used much. And I'm not talking about guys who are like third choice, like Tony Gallagher. His contract's up in the summer. No intention of selling him. He has played backup to our backups in both wing-back positions. Excuse me, no intention of selling him. He'll go when his contract expires. That'll be fine. But there is guys who are just not really playing. Same with Diamond and Tynan, even. Excuse me. Both of those guys can realistically be sold. I will probably reinvest the money. We've actually centre-back from Sporting Lisbon, left-sided, 21, 22-year-old centre-back. We just get told his contract's up in the summer. Like that 6 months notification came up. So we could try and enter pre-contract talks with him. I've sent him a scout. Just get another scout report. Just get an up-to-date one on him. We did do one earlier in the season, but obviously our players have changed and how they're playing and things. He might have as well. But if we could say move on those 2 guys, Tynan and Diamond, but bring in, say, this lad from Sporting for a nominal fee or a small fee. Yeah, I might do stuff like that. Like if there's guys that you want to tie up in a pre-contract and for the summer that we can get in early, yeah, we'll do that if we can. But outside of that, there's nothing really in my head that's standing out to me like, oh, I really need X or Y. It was a fullback. We've done that. Again, if there is a left back I want, but he doesn't want to join the club until the club's stature increases, which I get it. But I think by the time we do get the club to that level, he'll be long out of our reach. But yeah, if there's a left back, for example, or left wing back who is interested in coming in, who will be the step up we're going to be looking for at the very minimum in the summer. Yeah, again, we'll make that move. But all in all, it is really just a case now of try to bring somebody in to be backup defensive mid to our 4. Potentially a left back, potentially another striker if Hornby goes. Like, lots of kind of just if buts. The main thing we wanted was in your right back. We have that happening. Everything else is kind of just a bonus going into January. But yeah, that's kind of the plans. Nothing overly exciting, truth be told. 1 or 2 players in, hopefully maybe 4 or 5 out would be my, honestly, ideal. So we'll see what happens. We've had a couple of chances. Phoenix had the ball in the back of the net, but he was offside, sadly. But we are, by the looks of things, playing pretty well. We're getting chances. We're breaking them down, which is good. Kunwali's playing against us, a former right back. I see him there. O'Toole's having a poor game, which isn't ideal. I definitely think come this summer we're going to try and sell Dag. He's just not worked out, which happens. But yeah. I mean, ideally come this summer we'll actually cash in on 1 or 2 players and reinvest some money. I'm hoping we'll still have a massive transfer budget that we can use as and when required. But they might be annoyed that I don't seem to want to spend it in one go. So there is that. Right, we're going to make a couple of changes in a second because O'Toole and Feeney, mainly because he's offsides, but they have incredibly bad ratings. And I just don't want them to continue to play badly going into the second half. Who the hell was that to? It was good to see those Jan's playing well today. Maybe not looking like scoring, but definitely as a creative outlet. Jan is very good for us, very useful in that number 10 or secondary striker position. Kane trying to advance. Does well. Ball back post Tool. Not really challenging with that header. Going to bring on Chambers then. Just a kind of like for like swap there. Feeney will take off, bring on Lewis Miller. Patrick is knackered, so that's an easy swap actually for Villa. Do you know what? Jan's tired as well. Let's bring on Hornby. It's 4 changes. Most of it is for fitness. Now, I know we have a gap between now and our next game. I think the next game we play is actually the Scottish Cup, which is against lower league opposition, I believe, if I remember right. But I'd rather not risk injury on guys before then, if we can help it. Although a win today generally would be pretty helpful. I think I actually will do the recommended sub there of Kane for El Hadoui. Just bring on that deep line playmaker. We know he's good on the ball. We know he can create chances. So why limit us from doing that? El Hadoui gets the ball out to Hornby, who just about keeps it in. Side back now to Keenan. Side El Hadoui, Hornby. El Hadoui, Miller. Finally somebody has a shot. But it deflects off a defender. We end up having another shot from El Hadoui. Goes out for a corner now. As we keep up the pressure, McCarthy to deliver. Not the best corner in the world, but not the worst. Still got 20 minutes, still plenty of time to try and get something from the game. I do think though, if Hornby goes, I kind of do want a striker like him to come back in. And what I mean by that is not experienced necessarily, but a big tall fucker who's a target man. I like my tall target men. They have worked pretty well for us in this save. Another corner. And it's in, and it's Antonio Villas, his first goal of the season. And it's actually his first goal for the club. I thought he'd have got one last year. Big defensive mid, can play centre back, and he just batters this header home. Rises up. You could argue there was an offside there, but VAR didn't pick it up, so I'm not going to. Annoyingly, still get 2 games in hand on St Johnstone's, but the win today would bring us within 3 points of them. What is good to see is St Mirren drawn with Falkirk. Hearts are drawn with Celtic, which is a surprise, I suppose. Oh, please don't lose a goal here. Sands with a double save. Sands has developed, like, it just kept developing this season, which is good to see. He is somebody we might be able to cash in on, maybe and make some decent-ish money. Although, let's see what his value actually is when I say that. It's got to be a couple million, right? Yeah, between 4 and 6 million? Yeah, I would take that right now for him. Good tackle by Miller. 5 minutes added on, so 6 minutes left of the game in, well, I was going to say in total, as a minimum. Celtic have just took the lead in for the first time in their game against Hearts, which right now gives us another 3 points to add to the gap between ourselves and bottom of the league, which is always good to see. I don't know why Hornby's the one running for all these balls. He's never going to win them. He's not got the pace. But this break might. Chambers out to McCarthy now. Can McCarthy pick out someone? He has a shot himself. Would definitely been better to try to slot through one of the players breaking with him. What will be good about the new wing-back we're signing is he is a complete wing-back. He is an attacking full-back in general. It's just his description, I feel like. But he is a complete wing-back. We'll probably play him on support, not attack, unless attack is his favourite, then we might try it. But it should actually help us with that bit of width down the right-hand side. Might help us get a couple of decent crosses in as well, and we might see our chance creation just go up that little bit more. And if like that, our possession, when we get the ball up so far up the park, but there's nobody here, which can leave us a little bit isolated, especially for strikers as went wide. There's nobody to support. We're on the right-hand side now. Christie should be up there, or at least a bit further up than the rest, and can offer that outlet. McCarthy, though, to deliver this corner. For a guy who might be left-footed, he seems to be hit everything with his right. Either foot. Hornby again on the end of a long ball. Over the top. First time passing out to Chambers. Miller. He's not got the pace, but he gets a shot away. But there's seconds left of the game. Blow the whistle. And he does. Good 3 points for us today. Brings us within 3 points of St Johnstone, who are ahead of us in the league. But we've got 2 games on hand in them. So if we win both of them, we'll go 3 points ahead. And we are going into the new year 8th in the table. 1 point and 11 difference in goals between ourselves and Falkirk, who are 1 point behind us. But again, we have a game in hand. Then it's St Mirren 2 points behind us. We have 2 games in hand. Kilmarnock, who are then 4 points, same 2 games in hand. And then we're 8 points ahead of Hearts with 1 game in hand over them. If we could go equal in points with St Johnstone with our 2 games in hand, we will actually go above them in the league. Goal difference would be the saviour there. Top 6, probably not likely. But if we could finish 7th this season, I would genuinely be delighted with that. Would absolutely be delighted with it. Let's quickly look at the schedule then and see when we're coming back. So our next game is the 15th of January, where I'll be taking on Hamilton in the Scottish Cup 4th round, and we'll be playing at Hamilton's Stadium. We'll then take on Aberdeen, Rangers and Kilmarnock. I'm genuinely quite tempted to just go into the whole of January, and we'll just come back for Hearts on the 2nd before we play Celtic on the 5th. Then there's another bloody break. We get 8. No, it's not a break. Sorry, it's 8 days between that. But yeah, but we'll come back for the end, the beginning of February. We'll come back for the Hearts and Celtic game. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.